Hello. For anybody who was on earlier, I'm doing a take two. All right. I have been invited by my team in a, this would be super cool if you do this, Tiff, way. At the end of every week on a Thursday or Friday, I'm going to share some thoughts from the table, like as a global piece. So looking at adjusting hundreds of people in a day, or sometimes a day, but in a week, I want to kind of share what I saw from start to finish in the week. So the Earth's energy has changed dramatically this week. You may or may not know this. When it does that, it affects our body. It affects our energy. It affects how we can think. It affects it has a vibration that is different than our human. And that, from a global view, has been happening. And so when I think back from Monday to Thursday and I think like, hey, this is what's going on the table, I think about the weather here, locally at least, was sunny and it was fall and it was bright in the beginning of the week. And it eventually just really dramatically shifted by yesterday and today. And so today I want to talk about what happens when shit hits the fan around you, what happens when things don't quite go your way, what happens when you get bad news for yourself or somebody you love, what happens when you just feel out of sorts. Like what do you go back to so that you don't feel like a half-dead fish in the ocean that's just whipping with the waves. So one of the pieces, and like we're entering a season that's gloomy, we're entering a season that's rainy and snowy, we're entering a season that people would say is seasonal affective disorder. And what do we do about that? Because even if that's not how we diagnose ourselves, that is how a lot of people are responding. And so if we don't have the core, like we can't come back to something, we feel down in the morning, we choose not to get out of bed, like that's your responsibility on what do you need to do about this. If we have chronic headaches and all of a sudden with this weather we have more pain, we have more headaches, we have more mood disorders, like what are we going to do about it? What do we need to tighten up? How does your energy need to like stay within? I say stay strong, and so we're not leaking energy out. And when the world's energy is shifting, we know that there's going to just be this little like sense of offness. This is also the season for like sickness, and so we kind of start to blame everything on like, ooh, everyone who I work with is sick. Everyone in my family is sick. All my kids' friends in school are sick. Half the school was gone. Half the class was gone today because they were sick. And now when we feel crappy, when we don't sleep very well, or we don't have very much energy in a day, we kind of blame it on being sick. Well, this is like the pattern to mediocre. This is the pattern to being very average, because the majority of people are sick. The majority of people are medicated. The majority of people are fully medicated for other things. So when sickness happens, it just adds to their like, oh, well, this is normal. Well, dang it. Can we change the story? Because the energy on the table ended with it being very low for the most part. And when the environment is not that good, we have to have personal power that can move us through that. Listening to the environment, adapting to the environment, getting flopped by the environment, whether that's at your house, in your workplace, with the weather, that's circumstantial power. That means your mood is based on something that is a circumstance outside of you. Like that isn't where power lies. So how do we take this back? How do we, you get on the table and you get adjusted, and I have the ability to give you a 1 degree internal shift, mindset, physical, emotional, just a knowing, a feeling, asking a question. I have that ability to see it and feel it and then talk to you about it. But if you don't change it, it's not going to change, because all it really takes is a 1 degree internal shift. Not circumstantial shifts. Not like, ooh, if this is good today, then this. If my spouse is nice today and in a good mood, then this. If the weather's good today, then this. If my kids, you see how like we just continue to go and go and go in this circumstantial power situation. And when the world's energy and truly like Earth's energy is shifting, we have to be even more rock solid. So this week, table thoughts from the front to the back. This is what my team thought would be really awesome. Hey, can you give an intuitive forecast of the week? This is what it is. Circumstantial power is not going to get you very far. We need to have like rock solid personal power that when shit hits the fan, we know how to adapt. When the weather turns as it is, we have tools that you are responsible for your tools. You're responsible for what happens after you get on the table to the next time that you're in that office. So it may feel great for a day, or you may be in a great mood for a day, and then you say it wears off. That's not true. That means you're not stepping up to where you need to be fully responsible for this and not rely on circumstantial power. So the weather, it looks like in the state of North Dakota, is going to continue to be like this. Now we may have glimpses, but like this is what it is. There is no question. There's no surprise. So circumstantial power means we're going to be in a bad mood because of the weather. We're going to be pissy because we're not going to be a very good mom because like that's not how we need to do this. So anchor into something else. Do something that you love to do. Write a note to somebody. Draw. Make a puzzle. Exercise every day, especially if you're struggling to get out of bed. Your responsibility is to find the light, the core of you that is unshakable. So, here's Table Thoughts by Tiff. Have a great weekend, you guys.